Steven, remember when you were here the other day and I was like, oh, look, your card came.
Yes. Yeah.
What did I do?
You opened the envelope and instantly started to put it in the trash right next to your desk.
Threw it right in the trash.
I said,
that's
you better
where it belongs.
not. You better not.
Well, it's because we were talking about the years prior. I'm like, usually when I get these cards from anybody, I take them out of the envelope, I look at them and I go, okay. And I throw it right in the trash because why am I supposed to keep that?
Well, all right. That's good to know. Next year I won't send you one.
Well, now it's hanging on the magnet board out there.
It'll be there for years now.
Shall remain for another 30 years.
I'm pretty sure my old Christmas card and Dan's makeshift card was up there for like 4 years until you finally threw them out.
Yeah, I guess I get bored. I mean, we have some clips and a magnet board, so that's where they stay. Actually, the whole wall is magnet because it's all metal.
Remember the plan was to like swap out prints like every week, and we never do that.
I mean, no, because why? Because no one comes in here, so it doesn't even matter.
I mean, in the beginning, it was nice to showcase every time we would do like a real world review, we would print the photos as well to showcase the print quality and everything, but we just don't do that anymore. So it was great to showcase the prints from a B-roll perspective on the magnetic board, but reflections and everything, it's tough to show prints on
well,
video.
at the new space, I'm going to definitely have like these bright-ass white lights that are going to be...
50-foot magnet wall.
No, it's going to be a magnet. It's going to be something for prints. In the Canon printer section, sponsored by Canon printers, there will be bright ass daylight bulbs, and it will be a great place for viewing images. And there should be no reflections because there will be no windows and stuff up there. And who knows?
As long as it's even lighting, that's all I care about. Because at the factory, the house lights are all over the place. Well, they are. I like my house lights, but I do get what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, welcome to RAWtalk episode number 30. We're 30 weeks into this whole thing, and we continue to move forward. And even next week, when it's most people are off, there will be another special edition of RAWtalk where we are doing Q&A because you guys submitted questions. If you were on the Texty McTexterson line, or you listened to Photo News Fix, you would have seen how you could have submitted your questions, and we have those questions, and we will be answering those in a next issue in a week for next week's episode.
And if you're listening to this right now, then we've already recorded the podcast, and don't submit any more questions.
Yeah, don't submit your damn questions if you missed out on it, because we already did it, because Steven's off next week, so I'm putting him to work this week to get it done.
And I'm not opposed to doing like a special bonus episode of some sort every once in a while and doing like listener Q&As, because I personally kind of like that when I listen to certain podcasts. Just it's something different, but I don't know if people will be interested in that or not.
I think some of the questions are good that I went through. There's some good ones. There were some terrible ones.
Expected, yeah. But there was a lot that came in through the text line.
There is a lot because, our text line, the number is 313. I'm not looking at it right now. 313-710-9729. 313-710-9729. I believe it's United States only. I don't think it's open to the rest of the world because it's text line.
Yeah.
And I think normal text rates will apply.
Jared, are you cold?
No, I'm not cold.
You look like you're bundled up like you're outside. You got a scarf on, a winter hat, a jacket.
Look, I haven't done my hair because I want to keep it down for the end of the year. It's just how I feel like doing it. I've got my purple hat on. I've got my purple scarf on. I've got my plum I Shoot Raw hoodie on. I've got a purple I Shoot Raw shirt on underneath, and I have purple underwear today. I'm wearing all purple.
And we all know you don't like to turn on the heat there.
No, the heat is on. The heat is on.
What's it set to?
Well,
68?
It was set to 70. No, I put 69 usually, but I put it up to 72 before the show, and then I set it back down to 69 because we don't
want the blowers turning on. Yeah.
What's the temperature out there? Well, it's 37, so the radiator should be going, but not tomorrow, but Saturday it's going to be 19, high of 19.
High of 19, yeah.
Low
and today is going to be like a high of 58.
Something like that.
1 day difference. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky because we're getting rain today and tomorrow, and if it was a day later,
I wanted snow.
I don't want snow. Why do I want snow? Then I got to pay someone to shovel, dude. Who cares about that's racist, Steven. Oh, you want a white Christmas? You want a racist Christmas
because of snow, idiot.
Oh, so you can put on your hood?
Oh my god.
And walk around and be like, "Oh, look at me. It's a white Christmas, white power."
How do you know what I do every Christmas?
You say white power every Christmas? I can see people spitting their coffee out right now that I said that. It's kind of
that Chappelle episode, man, gets me every time.
White power.
The blind black white supremacist.
If you've never seen that Chappelle episode, you've got to watch Chappelle as the Grandmaster of the KKK.
Chappelle show.
a blind racist who so happens to be doesn't. Anyway, I'm not going to give it away. You guys watch it because it is one of the greatest episodes ever. But I guess we just found out that Steven wants an all-white Christmas, which is kind of insensitive.
Oh my God,
Nancy, is that a fireable offense? I've never said anything fireable. You're right, I haven't.
This is why I'm just scared to even open my mouth on this show.
Why?
Because of the shit you say.
What, Nancy? It's not me. It's Nancy.
Calling me a white supremacist.
You're not a white supremacist, Steven.
Jesus.
I know you're not.
No.
I mean, that I know of. I've been to your house. I've seen. Hey, speaking of hoodies and hoods, did you find one for your wife?
I did. I grabbed a couple from the shipping department.
Wait, more than one?
I grabbed one for her and 2 extras for me.
No, you didn't.
I did. Dude, they're just sitting there.
What size are they?
There's like 50 of them. I think I grabbed a large and a medium.
What? You don't wear medium?
She does. Well, that was the smallest size we had, was medium.
Is it? What do I wear? I think I wear a medium, right?
I don't know. I looked for smalls and I couldn't find that, so I grabbed a medium.
Are you going to wear one?
Yeah, I don't really like wearing shirts with a giant logo of you on the back of it.
You prefer David Duke on the back of it?
No, if you recall, I think I got you to do one that was just like a stealth edition where it barely said I Shoot Raw and it didn't have the logo on the back. Because I don't mind the I Shoot Raw part, but it's having a giant logo of Frono's photo on the back. It's a little.
So then why did you take 2 more?
Because they're cozy.
Oh, so you'll just wear it. What'd she say? Did you give it to her or are you waiting till Christmas?
She was very thankful, yes.
How thankful?
She said thank you.
Did she thank you though?
No, she thanked you. She did. She said shut up. She said, tell Jared thank you.
Then why didn't you tell me?
I'm telling you right now.
But if she told you days ago when you did this and you didn't tell me, you would have never told me.
No, this was like yesterday. It's been
in my car. Is it because I'm Jewish?
Sure, yeah. This show, Jesus.
This show is so good, Steven. You love it.
So good.
You love it. My dad called and he said something about
the podcast. I hope he listens to this show.
He's like, I listened to the podcast. He's like, yeah, I listened to your podcast, which I didn't tell him we had the podcast going again. I didn't tell him that. So he listened to the I guess he listened. He said something about oysters, but I think he's upset that I'm cursing too much. So he's like, don't curse so much.
He always says that. That's like a big thing for him, huh? But he curses, doesn't he?
Do you know where I learned it? I
learned
it from watching you. I learned it from you, Dad.
I learned it from my father.
For drugs. That's the drugs commercial for those of you who don't know. What is this, son? Where did you get this box of crack and needles? I learned it from you, Dad. As the guy looks like John Oates from Hall & Oates, because that's what the guy looked like in that commercial. You know?
You are your father. I will say it every time. You are your father.
No, I have a different hair and different nose.
I don't know about the nose.
We have different noses. My brother has the nose. My dad has the nose. My cousin has the nose. My uncle has the nose. My grandfather had the nose. I don't have the nose. See, it doesn't curl over at the end. What are you saying? What are you trying to say, Steven? Don't, Steven, take that hood off.
Usually kids look like their fathers. That's why.
Steven, take that hood off.
Oh my God. Stop.
I will not continue this show if you're dressed like, wait a second. Why is Chip wearing a white cloth as well? Why is
none of this is actually happening?
Yes. Oh, wait. No, Chip is. Where is Chip right now?
Chip is a black dog, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
It's racist. That's racist. See, Chip.
Actually, technically, he's tricolor. He's got a little brown, a little black, and some white patches around.
Oh, so he's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, see? That's why I have him.
See, Chip's the type of dog that would fall into the Ku Klux Klan because he's just so impressionable. Because he's just to be like, okay, I'll put on this hood. Let me put on this. Oh, this is fun. It's like I'm a ghost.
Chip is, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yep.
Nope. No Chip. No Chip. No sharp tool. Did you get Chip gifts for the holidays?
I did. I bought a couple squeaky toys. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of squeaky toys, did finally post your picture of your holiday picture, right?
I did. If you want to see what Chip looks like, he is in that holiday picture, and it's always very hard to get him in the picture. I have to basically force him down with his harness right in between us.
It's also hard to see his face with that hood on. Hashtag Chip is a racist.
Oh my God. No, because people will actually hashtag that, and like some of the shit people reply and comment, I'm like, dude, this is like a family picture, and you're putting that shit from RAWtalk up here? Come on.
I didn't
read
comment.
The room.
I didn't comment.
I didn't. Just people are dickheads, that's all.
What, does your wife read those comments?
I usually delete them before she can even look at them.
Oh, just in case?
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, it's a great photo. I watched your video of it, the sped up video. That's really cool.
You love the commentary, didn't you?
What was that?
The computerized commentary.
Oh, I was so bad.
How I made a makeshift studio in my room.
Do you know you can make AI YouTube videos? There are people doing that. They're basically getting the AI script, then they get a computerized AI person that's animated that looks real, and they're lipping what you say, and they're posting that stuff on YouTube. Anytime I come up on a YouTube video that has a fake reading, I click right off because it's just a view farm. And yeah, they may be getting a lot of views, but they're not going to build a business. But I know they can make money off of it because they may get hundreds of thousands of views off of these things. They just sit there all day doing this. I know someone who's trying to test it out just to see how it works.
Because they just do insane clickbait titles and thumbnails, and then it's a random video with a computerized voice.
And a computerized deep fake looking person.
Yep.
And you know it's fake, but they give this information. But the crazy thing is you can't go with this information because as we saw with the AI that we did that last week, it says that, you know, I'm a humble person.
Definitely not factual.
Hold on. Give me 500 words on Stephen Eckert.
White supremacist.
Stephen Eckert is the Grand Master of the KKK of New Jersey. He likes to wear hoods to work that are white with holes. He thinks it's a ghost. His dog Chip is also a racist. I mean, white supremacist. Stephen is not. Let's be clear.
Yes,
Stephen
please,
is not any of this stuff. Clearly, if you saw this video, you would see that he has a different color hood on.
I'm actually wearing a black shirt right now.
Which the Grandmasters wear black.
Oh my God. No, I'm pretty sure they wear white. No, but with my with the time lapse that I took of setting up that whole session, I just did you can do text to speech option in the Instagram Reel. It's kind of hidden, and it's just some cheesy computerized voice, but it works.
So anyway, my dad was listening for some reason.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this episode.
He'll probably listen to this episode.
How did he find it? He definitely doesn't have Spotify or anything, right?
He has Spotify. He listens to podcasts all the time. Yeah. But I think maybe his teacher, his art teacher may have told him because I sent them both an episode of something. I spoke at the class.
The next class is going to be like, all right, we're going to listen to the latest episode of RAWtalk. Everyone put their headphones on.
No, the class is over now. So I think he got all excited. So he sends me he calls me. He's like, just want to let you know, I just got a text that I aced my final. Are you proud of me?
This is the same stuff you would ask him back in the day.
I'm like, it's a take-home test, so you should have passed your final.
Pretty hard to fail a take-home test.
I said I was proud of the fact that you pursued taking a class and followed through with it.
Yeah.
You know, looking for positive affirmations. How dare you?
Who does that?
I mean,
who does
it's
that?
The same thing I would do. Yay, look at me. I got a C+ in my English class. What the hell did you get a C+ for? It's not actually what happened. They never yelled at us for getting C+. But what did happen is they would say, if that's the best that you can do, if you worked your ass off and that's the best and you got a C+, then that's fine. But if you did a half-ass job and you could have done better, then it's not fine.
That was usually me.
No more Nintendo for you. No more Flyers games. That was the ultimate threat. I had to bring my grades up. I think I was doing a terrible job in like 4th or 5th grade. I don't know. I didn't pay attention much. And so
I tried when I needed to. When I needed to absolutely ace a test or something, then I would try. But homework, I rarely did, at least in high school.
Well, the ultimate threat was you're not going to go to Flyers games anymore. So they said you couldn't do that unless I brought my grades up. So I had to bring my grades up. I mean, really, it's just I needed some incentive because school was really, really boring.
That's how it was for me. I mean, at least I was still pretty much an A or B student for the most part. But towards the end of high school, I definitely really didn't care.
No, that was not me. I was like, maybe there was an A- somewhere. Then there was mostly like some B's and some C+.
Yeah.
Just like English never did it for me. I never did great in English. I really didn't pay attention. I did good in art class and I did good in gym.
Well, English shows because your grammar is terrible.
My grammar is perfectly fine. No, I was no good with that.
Do you read your text messages or emails that you send me?
Yeah. I just speak.
Yeah, and they're misspelled and all over the place.
Yeah, I also did well I always did well in current events and
history
and all that stuff.
That was my favorite.
Social studies is what they called it.
Yep.
I did well in social studies. I can't believe I couldn't even remember what the hell they called it. But yeah,
it took
I did
me
well
a minute too, yeah.
I didn't do great in science. I didn't do great in math. I definitely didn't do good in math. I don't think I got out of algebra 2.
See, I did great in math, but I hated it. They put me in like an advanced trig class in the freshman year of college because I placed high.
Steven gets put into advanced trig, but was still in remedial reading.
Pretty much.
So speaking of, let me wrap up with my dad. So we'll see if he listens to more episodes, but I
please no.
Maybe he'll give us a phone call and we'll bring him onto the show again. Well, especially when we hook up the road thing. I could have the road thing go into the computer, right? And then he could call into that.
Yep, connect right via Bluetooth to your phone.
We have a phone call coming from my dad. Hey, you got some nuts? I just ordered some nuts. You need any nuts from nuts.com?
Oh, dude, that was the best because he would call and then you would say we're doing a live show right now and then he would continue to talk.
Oh yeah, no big deal.
Instead of like, I'll call you back later. So what are you doing today? Dad, we're doing the podcast right now. Okay, well, what are you doing later today?
Well, speaking of school, because Stephen and I did so well in school back in the day, did you watch that Mirrors On thing from that teacher?
Yeah, you sent it to me via Instagram DM.
Yeah, can we play that audio for people and then talk about it?
Sure.
Let me set it up for you. This is a teacher. Her name is, she goes from simply teaching chaos. It's Carly and Kelly. I don't know if they're married or not. 1st and 5th grade teachers, providing elementary teachers with ideas, resources, and tips to bring your classroom alive without the stress. Oh, they enjoy your kiddo-friendly playlist. Oh, I wonder what's on their kiddo-friendly playlist. Let's see. Back to school kiddo-friendly playlist. I got to go see what's on their kiddo-friendly before we play this.
Here we go.
I get sidetracked. Come on, load already, kiddo-friendly playlist.
Is this you in school?
Yeah, me in school
Jared,
is like...
pay attention. Squirrel!
I'm sorry, I can't be. I wonder if she's single. I don't know. Her kiddo, 50 days of school, 2 followers. Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley. Hound Dog, Elvis Presley. You're the Devil in Disguise. We can't have devils in school. Can't help falling in love. Great Balls of Fire. Okay, good. Let's talk to a guy who married his 14-year-old cousin. Bobby V, Billy Haley. God, I don't want to listen to this playlist. It's like Little Richard.
It's for people your age, Jared.
Well, I hate it. This playlist sucks. Anyway, Steven, go ahead. Roll that clip.
We start our day like this. We're ending our day like this. Ready? Mirrors on. I can. Make my own magic. M. Make eye contact. A. Accept failure. G. Get up and go for it. I. There's no I in team. C. Celebrate others. I can. Make my own magic. M. Make eye contact. A. Accept failure. G. Get up and go for it. I. There's no I in team. C. Celebrate others. Mirrors off. Kiss your brain. Wonderful.
All right, Steven, do you have any feedback on that right off the bat? I mean, I do like her dress now that I'm looking at it right now.
I mean,
and
she's teaching 1st grade. They're like 6 or 7 years old. I get it.
Steven, but look at this dress. I really like the way that necklace is hanging there. I didn't realize that first, but now I'm seeing it. I wonder, does she have a ring on? I don't think she has a ring. I'm going to send her a message right now. Let's see. Hey, I like your video. Oh, wait, shit. I shouldn't do that.
Let me make fun of you on a big podcast and then try and ask you out.
I mean, where's she from? Let's see. It says, during the first weeks of school, I make sure to read The Wild Card Kids, A Journey to Magic. This story is about a group of kids that go on a magical adventure and learn some super important life lessons along the way. Like, don't take candy from strangers because you might get absconded with. Look, Steven, I self-corrected right there. I wanted to say raped, but I didn't.
Oh, my God. I didn't say it, but I proceeded to then say what I didn't say.
Well, I didn't want to say it. But it's obviously that's not a joke. You don't want to joke about that stuff, but it is. That's why you don't want to get taken by one of these cars that offer you candy.
1st grade lessons. Yep.
But we don't have 1st graders listening to this episode. So anyway, I really didn't like what she was doing. I mean, I get it. You want this affirmation and stuff for kids, but the whole Mirrors On, all I could think about is me being a little asshole that I was in 1st grade, that I would be like, shut up. Why are you doing this? This is terrible.
Sounds like you had a lot of friends in first grade.
I had plenty of friends, but I also
Come on, Jared,
refused.
play. No, this game sucks.
No, well, this is bullshit. This is indoctrination. I don't need these self-affirmations.
Yeah, but you realize like first grade, it's literally just babysitting for the most part. You're babysitting 6 or 7 year olds.
Kinda, but I don't want to put my mirrors on. If mirrors on, I'd be like, take my shirt off and be like, hey, Miss Teacher. What's her name? Simply Teaching. I forget her name. But really, mirrors on. Could you imagine sitting in class, Steven? Imagine if I did a photo class. Okay, guys, mirrors on. I will not crop. And everybody's like, I will not crop.
I mean, are you doing a photo class with first graders?
No, these are adults. I will shoot raw. I will say ISO. I will not watch Tony Northrup.
I will be humble.
I will be what? No one says that. But
well, you can't say that, so.
Steven, mirrors on.
Mirrors on.
Steven, okay. I will M.
I will M.
Make eye contact.
Yeah.
Woo. A. Accept failure.
Woo.
No, do not accept failure. See, this is the one that got me. Telling kids that it's okay to fail. Like, it's okay to fail. Like, it is, but there needs to be more than, for a 6 and 7-year-old, they may not understand when you say accept failure. Because, and then here it says,
yeah, but
accept
it's like
failure.
2nd and 3rd grade when you start to teach that kind of stuff.
Understand you won't be perfect at everything, and that's okay. I mean, it is okay, but that's not about accepting failure. That's about understanding your what's the word? Your limitations. It's about understanding your limitations. And yes, accepting I just don't, you shouldn't be training kids to accept failure all the time. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be wrong, but explain that to kids. Like, it's okay. It's okay, Johnny. It's okay, Jennifer. It's okay, LaQuanda. If you make a mistake, you can learn from it, but let's try not to do that. It's okay to make mistakes.
That's accepting failure, isn't it?
I accept failure. Fuck it. Mirrors on. Mirrors on. I accept that I failed at this attempt. Could you imagine if you're married or this is your girlfriend and she comes home, she brings home first grade stuff to you and she's like, Jared, mirrors on. I will. Okay.
You do know my wife teaches 2nd grade, right?
Yeah. I will clean up the kitchen. No, I won't. Leave me alone. I will not clean up the kitchen. Yeah, you will. This is first grade, teacher. Well, only if you wear that outfit later, I'll be very happy to say yes to whatever it is you say. Oh, her name's Carly or Kelly. Let me see. Have I ever sent her a message? Hi, Carly. Hi, Kelly. This is Jared from Frono's Photo. I have a first grade teacher. I would like to put together a curriculum for teaching first grade photography classes. Can we do mirrors on, please? Mirrors on. What'd you think about that video, Steven?
I thought it was a cute way to teach first graders, you know? Get them to listen.
They have others for teaching verbs, adjectives, and nouns because I went and I watched it. And I was like, damn, I could have used this in school. It's like a verb is a action word. A noun is I don't even know what it is. I still don't know what it is. I watched the video.
I personally, when it comes to like music and stuff like that, I learned a lot from like the math songs. We did a lot of multiplication songs.
Oh, give me a math song, Steven.
I think I did this one before, but 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36.
Can you believe Steven's 42. Doing all this with a hood on?
No, I'm not.
You imagine Steven in front of little Steven Eckert sitting there in the corner, Steven wearing his hood and everything. It's like a South Park episode.
I was literally just thinking, I'm picturing like Cartman in my head.
Because Cartman has done that. He dressed up. Remember, he was dressed up as, unfortunately, Hitler for Halloween. And then they're like, we'll just go as a spooky ghost. And then they put the thing over him and he looks like a Klansman.
Was that the episode where... Oh, I don't even want to say it.
Don't say. Whatever it is, it's South Park. They can get away with it. Steven can't on
They
RAWtalk.
really can, yeah.
Really, give me some more math songs. I've never heard that one before.
That's the one that sticks to this day, but there was like a 7, 14, 21, 28.
Do you know what? Yeah, I never got that one.
Yeah, it was really, I think we were like 3rd grade, but we would sing them every day, and that's literally how I learned how to do multiplication.
See, I remember Farah Jacques, Jacques, Darmevu, but this line always got me. Someone lay Martina, someone lay. What do you mean, someone lay Martina? I don't understand it. Let me go find the lyrics of Farah Jacques.
Oh God, here we go.
Lyrics of Farah Jacques. There it is. Farah Jacques. Farah Jacques lyrics nursery rhyme. Common beliefs. Les matinées. Oh, les matinées, meaning mantis or wait, French, English. Brother, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ring. Oh, it's Somos Les Mantinis. Oh, fuck. I always thought it was someone lay Martina. And I'm like, Martina Navratilova, she would not be happy with that right now.
It's just like that
Dancing Jews?
The Dancing Jews song, yeah.
It is. It's still well, now I can hear Dancing Juice. I didn't yeah, but yeah. It's a beautiful day for something, something, something. Or is it this Dancing Jews? Hi, God. So I was trying to film a Manny the Menorah the other day, and I should really film them on my camera and not in Instagram because I filmed a really good one, and then Instagram locked up and didn't save it.
Oh, see, I always film everything in my normal camera app and then load Instagram because I've had way too many times where it crashed on me. Even making a reel, it's the worst.
I need to do that. I really do. I need to get used to that. But so I'm like doing Manny the Menorah, and you know he's on the window and he faces the street, and he's doing his Manny the Menorah thing, and a skateboarder goes by, and he's like, do a kickflip. Manny yelled that.
How do you know he faces the street? Isn't he the same? Isn't it just a symmetrical Manny the Menorah?
No, he faces into the building, but
it's the same view, both sides of the window is what I'm trying to say, right?
No, that's impossible, Stephen. He's going to look, you're going to see his ass if you look on the back. If you, from outside, you see Manny's ass.
Why?
In the inside, you see Manny's front.
Oh, sure.
And Dickie the Dreidel.
Mm.
Yeah, you don't
I feel
know
like
this
I'm in
after
first grade.
Mirrors on, mirrors on. Hashtag mirrors on.
Yep.
Steven.
Not doing it. Nope.
I will respect Manny the Menorah because he's Jewish. That's called crickets, everybody. That's called crickets. Steven does not want to play along. Mirrors. He didn't say mirrors on, I guess.
I'm so sick of Manny the Menorah.
Mirrors off.
He's a dick.
No, Dickie the Dreidl's a dick. All right, we should move on from this,
please,
Steven. I can't believe you're taking so long to do this.
Oh, my God.
So I went to the art museum the other day with my dad last Friday. He wanted to go see the Matisse exhibit, and his art teacher was coming along, the professor, because she was going to give us all this information and be art teachery and stuff. So we show up, and I posted what my dad was wearing on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, it's there. He's wearing a full head-to-toe Adidas jumpsuit that's Sixers blue with pinstripes of white, red, and blue on the side. And
he's got the shoes, too.
Yeah, but they were Under Armour blue shoes. They
weren't
Adidas
they were
shoes
the same
with
shade of blue, too.
It was kind of a thing. It was a thing. It was definitely a thing.
Yep.
So that's what he wore in public. And, we were standing in line, and a woman recognized me. She's like, I just want to say I'm a big fan. I'm like, you can thank my dad. He's right there.
You're like, Dad, see? Someone's saying thank you. People
no,
because
then he's like, then he always explains it to me. He's like, this happens all the time.
Wait, is he talking you up to the teacher? My son, this happens all the time. He's famous.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. So anyway, we went to the art museum. Oh, you know what happened at the art museum?
You got kicked out.
No, I was testing a lens. I was testing the 20 to 40 Tamron, which I need to review, which you're allowed to take pictures in there, but they're like, don't use a flash. They're like, I didn't know what that contraption was on your camera. Well, it's my EVF recorder.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm doing that. And, I didn't get yelled at. I mean, I got too close to a painting because I'm blind and I can't read the freaking thing. And they're like, you can't stand there. I'm like, but I can't read it. They're like, well, we're sorry, but you need to be 18 inches away. I'm like,
How close were you?
A couple inches. I can't read. I'm blind.
What, like 6 inches away?
Yeah, I'm blind.
Breathing on the painting?
No, the paintings all have glass on it, just in case some moron wants to dump paint on it and then super glue themselves to the wall.
Just in case someone can't see and is looking 6 inches away, breathing on it.
Monet. Did you see what I did to the Monet, though?
No.
You didn't see what I did to the Monet? I took one picture and I posted it, and I said would look better with Skittles, and then I posted the picture with Skittles edited, and I was like, yep, looks better with Skittles. Yeah.
Oh, you and Skittles.
So we're walking around the Matisse exhibit. There's tons of people in there because it's a time thing. So it's like 11 o'clock. You go through, and you have to get there at a certain time to go through because there's only so many people. And there's groups going through that have docents that are telling them all about things, and the lady's pretty loud, the docent lady, but I'm fine with a docent lady being loud because I want to hear all the information that they're saying.
Yep.
So I noticed that before we moved along, they were in front of us to the left, and we were
just
following
snuck
them.
into their group.
No, we weren't in the group. We were behind the group. But then I noticed this woman give me a look.
Oh.
And I knew something was up. She gave me a freaking look. There, I didn't curse.
She's like, I shoot JPEG.
No, she gave me a look, and then of course it was less than like 2 minutes later, this woman walks up and goes, excuse me, we're trying to listen here. And my dad, the teacher, and I were having a conversation about art.
Yeah.
And I said, excuse me, we're discussing art here. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then just dismissed her like that.
Wow.
Because like, fuck you. Sorry, Dad. Fuck you to this woman. And he wanted, look, I had to take care of it before, that she didn't come to him, because he would have been like the same way that I would have done it. But maybe I was pretty
more
abrasive.
aggressive, I'm sure.
No, I was pretty aggressive because I'm like, she's like, we're trying to listen. She's like, you're trying to listen. Could you bring it down a little bit? I'm like, no, we're discussing art and we're not even that loud. Thank you. And then she walked away. And I'm like, if you can't hear the docent, then get closer to the docent. Or the docent should have the microphone where you could put the headphones
exactly.
in. But we're here to have a conversation. I hate pretentious fucks in places like this, because people in art world are fucking pretentious. They think that you can't have a conversation. I'm not interrupting your listening or your viewing pleasure. We're having a discussion about art. So we were having this discussion about art, and I just was like, no, leave me alone. And that's what I said to the lady.
I mean, so they can be louder than you guys, but you can barely whisper? What?
We're trying to listen to the docent.
Nah, fuck
and it was
off.
probably like, oh, well, we paid to hear. I'm like, and? I'm like, and?
We paid too.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, we aren't even loud. I would tell you if I was loud, and I'd be like, yeah, sorry, no problem.
It'd be
but
different
in this case,
if you guys were like listening to sports radio or something and blasting it and listening to a game or something that wasn't art related at all. But obviously you guys are still talking about whatever was in front of you.
Yeah, we were having a light discussion. It wasn't even loud. So it was cool to have the art teacher there with us. Hashtag art teacher was there with us, because
such a random hashtag
information about stuff. There were so many weird things. There's so many weird things in the art museum. I mean, she's like, this is my favorite room. And I'm like, but the artwork looks like it was done by a 4-year-old. And she's like, well, that's the point, is that in the 70s, these artists, they created this artwork because people want to feel like they are able to do it. And so this kids really like this room because they can relate to the drawings because it looks like something they could do. And I'm like, and that's good?
Yeah.
She's like, well, it's one of my favorite rooms. I'm like, I hate this room.
That would be my least favorite for sure.
Right. And so, I mean, I listened, and there was some good stuff. There was some really cool
there's
artwork.
No art in that. That's if anyone can do it.
But see, that's the thing about art. They'll tell you that, well, see, this is the thing about art. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
I get it.
And it's the discussion. And that's why they do it, to make people talk about it.
How do you feel when you look at this painting, Jared?
I
this
feel like
splatter of paint on this white canvas. How do you feel?
I want to punch you in the face. It wasn't even splatters of paint. It was just like terrible. It was just terrible. They were just massive prints. She's like, so it starts here with this eye, and then it's really a story about the struggles of a civil war in a war-torn country.
Somebody else will come up and say a completely different story.
I'm like, well, that looks like a penis. And she's like, that is a good observation. A lot of the men painters like to put their penises into the paintings because it's very phallic. I'm like, and that's a legitimate thing. They talk about this. Oh, and then there was a painting.
You were making that up. That's real?
Yes, that shit's real.
Oh
yeah, because there was one painting. Wait, I got to look this up. Anyway, I can't figure out which artist it was, but it's surrealism, but it was actually pretty good. I'm like, well, that looks good because it looks like it took some work to do.
Exactly.
This guy also created a painting, a thing of art that he left to the Philadelphia Museum of Art because he knew that his collection was there, and it's called The Door. And you walk up to this door, and there's 2 eye slits, and you look through it, and it's this art piece where all you see is like a woman on the ground, and you don't see her face or anything, but she's behind like a hay bale. So you're to decide, was she raped? Was she post-coitus, like, and that's like they're literally having this discussion because this other guy, he had this painting that was glass, right? It was done on glass, and they're like, this is signifying bachelors. Bachelors are on the bottom. They're the men. And the bride is at the top. And all of these spinning things are the things that keep men going around, and they'll never get to the bride. And this is symbolic of masturbation. And then when they were shipping this painting, it broke. And when they told the artist that it broke, he was like, huzzah! That's great. That's part of the art now. And they kept it in its broken form, right? And so then early on there was this painting we were discussing, and I'm ruining it. I don't know. I should call the art teacher and bring her on the show right now. But can I do that, Stephen?
No, don't do that.
Let me try. Anyway, art teacher did not answer, so maybe she'll call back. I don't recall the artist's names, and I'm having trouble doing it. But there was a painting that had something to. Oh, this was the painting. So there was a guy. And there was a woman, and we're talking like 1800s, maybe late 1800s, and the woman is sitting in a chair, and her back is to the guy who's standing in front of the door. There's a bed, and there's all this stuff going on, and she looks dejected and upset, and she was telling me that the painting was like the art people say that she was just raped, and the man is standing by the door. And she's like, that's symbolic of him blocking the door so that she can't get out. I'm like, excuse me, the bed is not ruffled. The sheets aren't messed up. I don't think he raped her. Maybe he just came into the room to console her, and something just maybe she had an issue. Maybe she had a problem with something. But I don't see anything that signifies rape here because his pants are on. And she's like, well, that's another take on it, too. And I was just like, okay. But anyway, that's the story of art.
It's hard for me to comment because I don't know about any of these paintings that you're talking about.
Do you want to go? Do you want to take a field trip to the Philadelphia Museum of Art and we'll get a docent?
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I've been there once with Rise Against, the band. We did like a walkthrough of the entire art museum. And it was actually Muse, too. We did Muse as well at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. They will not...
Hey, should we bring little Dan with us?
I mean, if you want all the paintings to be destroyed, sure.
No, not bringing little. Do we invite Dan? Do we invite Dan?
Why not? Yeah.
So it's a field trip. It's a Frono's Photo field trip.
Hey, if it's during a work day, I'm all about it.
That's what I'm saying. We could do it, and we can get a docent because at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, they actually do free tours on certain hours. You can just stand there and then go around in a group and shush people. Because that's what. Shh, you're talking.
Can I wear a blue jumpsuit?
You can wear. We should all wear a blue jumpsuit,
and then invite. It
is pretty cool though, because in the one room in the center portion, they have the Monets, they have the Van Gogh sunflowers,
the big paintings, yeah,
and they all covered in glass, just in case you decide to throw paint on them, Stephen.
Yep.
You know, because
or look
you
at
want
them
to
and breathe on them 6 inches away.
That's me, Stephen. Then there was a room called Strange Fruit, and it's a bunch of banana peels and oranges, and it's meant to decay, and it was done in like, I don't know if it was the 90s or whatever, and it's just there on the floor. And I sat there and I was like, you know what? To the art teacher, I'm like, Strange Fruit is a song that was done by Billie Holiday, and it's a song about people being lynched, and the strange fruit hanging from the tree were bodies. And she would sing this song and got banned from, like, they couldn't play it on the radio, and this is in the 30s. And that's led to a lot of her downfall because white America was like, we can't have an African-American woman singing about strange fruit swinging from the trees. And she was just reflecting on what was going on
actually
at the time.
Happening, yeah.
Yeah, because I watched the Billie Holiday movie, and that's how I picked that up. So when I sat there and it said "Strange Fruit" was the name of this exhibit, which I didn't like it because it was like a room and you go in and my dad set off the alarm in that room because he stepped too close to the line and it set off the alarm. He was like, I was just looking.
Get him.
So anyway, the exhibit was called "Strange Fruit." Anyway, let's bring this back around to
finally move on.
Photo. So one of the news stories that I did for the last Photo News Fix of the year, which I recorded and Dan's going to edit before he goes on break, was the Pentax is looking into making film cameras again. Did you read this article?
I did.
What do you think about this right off the bat?
I'm not a huge fan of film in general. I do get the appeal. It's kind of like vinyl records coming back, just because, you know, kids didn't grow up with vinyl records and it's kind of a throwback, nostalgic, that kind of stuff. But film, I don't know. I think it's expensive.
I got you. And everybody knows my take on Pentax. But I have a different take on this one this time because I like the idea and the not the reasons they're doing it, but I like the idea that, well, at first, when I read the article on Petapixel, it was misleading because Petapixel makes it seem like they're actually pursuing this. They're actually doing it.
Oh, that's the article I read, yeah.
And then when I read the article on DP Review, because I like to see more sources, it said that they are deciding whether this is a viable option.
Well, I noticed they called it specifically a project.
Right. And so one of the reasons they might be doing this is because Leica just re-announced that they're going to re-release the film version of the M6 with some updated electronics and stuff, but be very similar to the M6 film camera that was very popular in the 80s. So they're re-releasing that. Now, I get it. It's a $6,000 film camera because it's Leica. That's what Leica does. I get this. And Pentax was talking about, we're going to bring our old film engineers together with new engineers to see what they can do with the cameras and come up with some interesting things. And look, if they can carve out a niche market and make enough money to sustain themselves, then I'm all for them making a film camera.
And it's not like they're doing much with the digital world right now anyway, so
they're dead in the digital world.
Yeah. If they need to pivot and go back to film, I get it.
They can, but the problem still that Sydney said it, the model that we had that one time recently, she said, because she said that she's into shooting film and she's in her 20s. And I'm like, okay, let's hear it. And I don't know if I said this on the show already. Did I say this on the show already?
You did. You said, I believe she said it slows you down.
Oh, yeah. She liked the fact that it slows her down. So I totally get that. And I like that. But the problem with film is you still have to go get it processed.
Well, that's the issue.
And then you have to get it scanned. And so now you have all this added expense to take pictures.
Yep.
Now, Leica has done a thing where they've taken out the LCD screen from a camera, which I think is a better idea. I mean, if I was them, I would make a digital film camera that's not film, but it has every picture you take, you've got to wind the crank to get to the next picture. You get 36, and then you have to wind the crank, and then you have to push a button to reset it to load film, right? But you're not actually loading film, but you're going through the slow down process. And you can't, it doesn't have an LCD screen, but it has a memory card. Actually, it doesn't even need a memory card. It just says onboard memory. Maybe it does. It all needs an SD card. And then you offload the image.
And the thing with modern day mirrorless cameras too, you could always turn off the exposure simulation inside your EVF, take out all the metadata in the actual EVF, black out your screen so it's not showing you a review of an image every single time you take a photo, and you can kind of mimic like what a film camera looks like, and then not look at the photos until you get home and see what you got. It's kind of the same thing.
I would rather see them come out with a camera like I just described, that you have all the manual functions of a analog camera,
but it's digital.
But you don't have a screen, and you set the ISO on the dial the same way, and you can get 36 pictures. And I say before you have to rewind it, you physically have to rewind it.
Wasn't there a Kickstarter camera that had like actual cartridges, like film cartridges you would put in that were like your memory cards almost?
Well, it was like film stocks. It was Yashica or something.
Yeah, it was digital, but it was still kind of like film, like you're shooting with a film camera.
Yeah, you would buy the different stock, the film, and then put it in, and then it would replicate that. I don't think that ever went anywhere. It's not a terrible idea. But my whole thing with the film is it just, yes, you like the look of film, but the entire process of sending it out and all that is just... because not everybody knows where to go process film.
Exactly.
And the other thing I was saying is
very expensive these days.
Maybe Kodak needs to go the way of the old style that they used to do, where everybody sent the roll of film to Kodak.
Yeah.
And then they'd process it. But what I was thinking here is, you send them the roll of film, they process it, they scan it, they upload the digital files for you to download, and do they just throw out the negatives at that point? Because if you get a really good scan, do you even need the negatives? Because you're never going to print from them.
Well, that's what we would do when I worked at CVS in the photo lab back in the day. We would just put them on a CD, and half the time they wouldn't even take the negatives. And they would just simply upload them to the computer and go from there.
Which is kind of insane because the Noritsu machines did not have a super high resolution scan.
No, it was not a big scan, yeah.
I remember that from back in the day. And the Frontier ones were even worse.
See, my thing too is I'd rather go something like the Instax route, or the Polaroid route, where I can still kind of, you know, mimic the film shooting style and actually get an instant print right then and there. I think that's a little more appealing to this generation versus actually shooting film and then waiting for it to develop and process and then having to scan it into the computer and then even tweaking it from there with a preset or something like that. And it's full circle at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know that this is actually going to work. I don't know that Pentax is actually going to do this, but they would be smart if they can carve out a niche and make enough profit from this. They could be like Leica, except for the fact that Leica can sell a $6,000 camera and sustain a business on a couple million a year.
Exactly.
Because there aren't that many employees and all that anymore.
Do the drugstores even process film anymore?
I don't think they do. I think they're all digital.
I think it's all digital too, or they maybe send it out. I don't know.
Well, so that's the other thing I was saying, you know, like I just said with Kodak accepting film back, maybe Pentax works the deal with them, or you ship it, they have a lab, or you just drive to the photo hut around the corner.
Is there still that one camera shop near you, Indie Photo?
Yeah, Indie Photo's still around. I refuse to go in there.
I mean, what do they charge, like $20 for processing?
I don't know. Let's Google this. Indie Photo Fishtown.
Because it used to be, if I recall, back in like 2003 when I worked at CVS, in the photo lab, it would be like $7 to process film and print out like 4x6s.
C41 develop and scan.
Yeah, C41. Yep.
So 24. Okay, let's say 36 exposures is $13 standard.
So a roll of 24 C41 for us would have been $6.99 back in the day.
High res scan, how much?
$6.99 for 24 prints, 4x6, and the negatives cut up.
Ultra scan is $20 and a max scan is $25. I'm not even sure how they're doing it.
One's high res, one's low res or something.
Yeah, black and white development is $27 for
that's not
36
C41,
exposure.
Right?
That's develop and scan. Right, so no prints. So it's $27 a roll, which honestly isn't that bad for 20. I mean, it's
Wait, $27 just to process the film?
No, for processing and scanning to their max scanning.
Okay, and scanning, gotcha.
Which isn't bad. Flatbed scanning. What is bulk? Oh, do they have... Scan only uncut roll. They have that option. They have scan only per strip. That's a pain in the ass. Develop and print. Wow, they do develop and print. And
that's the thing with shooting film. Is anyone actually printing these photos, or are they just looking to get them scanned onto the internet?
They're just looking to get them scanned on the internet at this point.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the... Indie Photo, they do it locally, so they're still in business. They've survived, so they must be doing something right.
I don't know if I have any local camera stores around here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know you're part of the clan.
I don't think so, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's... have you seen the latest... See, Petapixel puts... I think this time of year, Petapixel puts up articles just to put up articles. They just hit publish just to get this shit out.
Slow news time of the year, yeah, I get it.
But... the lobotomy chic aesthetic is taking over Instagram.
Oh my God.
And, you know...
It's Billie Eilish. It's everything she does, everyone just mimics.
It's partly Billie Eilish on there. But then it's like, I read one of the comments, they're like, I haven't even seen this or heard of this before, so I just think you guys are calling something and making it think that it's like a big deal. Like on TikTok, the kids using the iPhone 3GS because they think the camera looks great. Or kids using... point and shoot cameras again because they love the look of it.
Well, it's even like people using that Develop app or whatever it was, where you have to wait like the next day to actually get the pictures on your phone in the app and to take a picture with it. And it looks like shit, but it's cool because it's nostalgic.
Basically the aesthetic that they're going for is that remember when Manny did that photo shoot of me? It was I call it the dead fish look.
Yeah.
It's basically the dead fish look.
I mean, it reminds me of like high fashion editorial type style photos.
Well, or what's his name? Who Terry Richardson, who kind of disappeared.
Well, exactly.
No one's heard from Terry Richardson in a while, and he was making like $30 million a year.
Did you see Billie Eilish's latest post, by the way?
No, on Instagram.
Click on her Instagram account and just look at the first photo where she's in like a Mrs. Claus outfit.
Is it? Are you fucking kidding me, Steven? You made me curse.
It's completely blown out and overexposed.
Oh, it's her 21st birthday?
And it's like, is this on purpose? Is this a style you're going for now?
Nailed it.
I can't even tell it's her.
It's like...
her face is completely washed out.
It's like being on set with Todd Wolfe. All right, guys, good. Let's move on. Excuse me, Todd, the focus was slightly off. All right, back to one. Nailed it.
Crushed it.
This is terrible. This is terrible, Steven. It's like the flash is so over. Oh my god! I
But
can't.
now
Why'd
this
you make
is going to
me do
be a
this?
thing moving forward.
Oh, yes, we like the overblown look. That's what we want. That's the aesthetic we're going for. But the
This is the ghost
lobotomy
pose.
the lobotomy chic is really just looking like you're looking dead.
Yeah. Dead
It's
to the world, no
deadpan.
emotions. Yep.
It's just deadpan. And there were some comments in here. There's like one photographer who's known for this. Stone Bezos' work features deadpan models shot with cool-toned flash photography and framed in a pastel and black color palette. Her subjects often pose in obscure settings with random objects to increase the sense of disassociation. Sometimes Stone Bose models whose faces are washed out by the flash look like they are not even aware that the photograph is being taken at all. It's no secret that Gen Z is fascinated by Y2K era, as witnessed by TikTok's revisement of the point-and-shoot digital cameras of early 2000s. And the lobotomy chic trend is certainly heavily influenced by early 2000s grunge aesthetic. However, the recent popularity of the lobotomy chic aesthetic can be primarily linked to many trends that have seen Generation Z rejecting the highly edited, flawless visuals that they grew up seeing from their millennial counterparts.
Somebody commented and said, or it's just the taking a shit in the woods without any TP look.
It's pretty bad. But whatever you want to take your pictures of, why don't you take a picture of? I don't care if people want to do the lobotomy chic, but I start to get upset when people start calling this photography or calling it like great.
Exactly.
Like, it's the same thing I say about a hot model. Look, you've got a hot guy or a hot girl sitting on a bed and you took a picture of them. It's just a picture of a hot person sitting on a bed.
It's going back to that art museum discussion. There's no talent involved in taking a photograph like this. That's the issue with me. To me, it's not art.
I was talking to someone who works with a lot of people in that world, the LA scene, and he was saying that he could take his A1 out into the world and he gets looked at differently at these parties around these people, or he could take his point and shoot Leica, like the what Leica is that, the $6,000 one?
I forget which one, yeah.
Take that one out that everybody's not buying and put a flash on it and use that, and everybody's like, oh my God.
the life of the party, yeah.
That's so amazing.
Whoa.
And then he has to dumb it down with a lot of grain to make it look like it's shitty film, and then the kids will share it because they think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I don't have a problem. I really don't with people experimenting and trying things. It's just I draw the line when they start to say that this is good.
To be honest, I'm actually surprised that you don't do any of this kind of like weird photography because you do like to, you know, get away from the norm and do weird stuff almost on purpose sometimes. But you like to do very straight up, like, this is what the camera saw, this is what I saw, boom, done, straightforward.
That's photojournalism.
Yeah. No, again, I'm just saying I'm surprised you don't kind of do any of these weird types of photo shoots and stuff like that, just based on your personality.
Maybe that's a challenge for the new year, Stephen, doing lobotomy. Jared shoots like a xenial. Write that down. Can you write that down? Hashtag, do you want to see Jared shoot like a xenial? Dude, I'll do it. I will grab my iPhone 3GS. It's in my drawer. I'll charge it up and we can go do a photo shoot. We'll get Sydney the model.
I wonder if my 3GS still works.
My 3GS works. My iPhone original still works, except for the bottom part of the screen is dead.
Wow.
The top part of the, meaning you can't touch it. The touch capacitor on the bottom half of the screen doesn't work, so you can't swipe to unlock.
Did
now,
the original one
works.
have a camera?
It has a very little 2-megapixel camera.
Okay. And then the 3G was really what made it.
The 3GS just updated things. It actually was like, felt great in the hands.
Exactly.
I still think one of the best feeling ones was the 4. The size of the 4 was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was the bumper phone where if you held it a certain way, your hand would block the antenna. And then they released the bumpers that went around it to separate your hand from the antenna a little bit.
Yeah, I had every
never used.
iPhone except the original one pretty much.
So I skipped the 3G, but went right to the 3GS because I had the original.
I remember the 3GS was like the first actual like fast iPhone.
It was so fast
at the time.
It still works.
Now it's like slow as
I'll
hell.
bring it in. We'll do a shoot. I still have a charger because I kept the old 15-pin charger with it.
Well, that's something I always liked that Kai and Digital Rev TV did, the cheap camera challenge, where they would take, you know, either like a toy camera or an old school camera and try and shoot with it. I feel like we should do stuff like that.
I'm just trying to decide, do we want to make like Mr. Beast style 15-minute content that's edited quickly, edited fast, not quickly.
Mr. Beast takes like months to edit his shit.
I'm not saying quickly. I'm saying the fast cuts, the always keeping people engaged. Like, here's the challenge. If I lose this challenge, I cut my face. You know, like I'm not going to do that. But we could come up with something to do with shooting like a Xenial, shooting like Gen Z.
See, all this sounds good in my head, and then the second we hit record, you're going to be like, I don't know what to do.
And it all sounds good until we try.
Exactly.
Like,
everything sounds great, and you're like, yeah, I got this. And then you hit record, and you're like, and I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't know.
I really just need to get into the shoot. Once I'm into the shoot, I'm good.
Yeah.
It really, once the cameras start rolling. So yeah, that style is really stupid, and we'll go with that. The other thing is the robot camera at the World Cup. For those of you who didn't see, there was a robot camera that had a Z9 with a 100 to 400 in it. But basically, there's this dome that rotates. It could go up, down, and it can rotate on an axis like a circle, so it can go around. And inside of the dome is a Z9 with a 100 to 400 and all the stuff, the batteries and the electronics that it needs. And it was an agency, a French agency, and they would shoot me like a Paris person. And they would basically, they were able to track up to like 10 players on the field to then take pictures, or they could track the ball because there's a sensor in the ball.
Yeah.
And
they can manually control it too with a PlayStation controller.
Well, it wasn't even a PlayStation controller, so we needed to make... That's not a PlayStation controller. That's just a controller that looks like a PlayStation controller.
The article literally says a PlayStation controller.
It says that, but when you look at it, you're like, this is not a PlayStation controller. It's just a remote control. You know, it's a controller. But it is pretty cool, and I talk about this on the next Photo News Fix at the end of the year, but... these are going to become more prevalent. There's no doubt in my mind with the tracking capabilities of these cameras today that a photographer might be able to sit anywhere in the world with a fast connection and take the picture. Really. Or because you can track the subject, you know where shit's going to happen. I also think that what's going to happen is it's going to shrink down into such a model that it's going to become consumer driven. And we've seen it. There are those cameras that like, do you not have someone to photograph, video you? Put your camera on this thing and it will track you and it will zoom in and it will do this. That stuff already exists.
Well, and if you watch our upcoming AI versus photography video that we're putting out probably this weekend, all of that is in there. There's all kinds of different cameras that can be remotely controlled or just controlled by AI itself. It literally has a mind of its own. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to keep changing and evolving. And I really do think it's going to get to a consumer level in a bunch of years where I can take an extra camera and put it off to the side, and the camera is going to track the subject that I want it to track and take pictures because you're going to train it. Like you literally are going to be able to feed the algorithm all of these types of images that you like to see, whether they're yours or not, throughout history. Like Getty Images is going to be able to have the Getty Image database that they'll have cameras that have studied Bruce Bennett's style of cropping and will be able to mimic it at a hockey game. They just will. It's just going to know what a good image is based off of what the editors have selected, and it's going to try and capture those. It's going to get there.
And down to the consumer level, like you were saying, there's something like the Canon PowerShot PIC PTZ camera that literally you could just set up in your family room or outside at a picnic or whatever, wherever your family's at, and it will remotely take pictures or video as you're at this event. And it will
What's it called?
The Canon PowerShot PIC PTZ camera.
I'm texting. Can I get a Canon PowerShot PIT?
PTZ.
PTZ?
PICK PTZ. PIC PTZ.
PIC PTZ to test out.
And this camera will then, at the end of the day or month or week or whatever you set it to, will then cull automatically the best of the best highlights and selects for you and either make like a slideshow or just pick out the favorites and say, these are the best from this day. It'll then tell you, this is person one, person A, B, C, whatever. It'll separate them. It'll also tell you what date these were taken. It's interesting. I don't think it's there yet. This type of, I don't think the quality's there yet, but I do see this being a thing in the near future.
We should test it out. We should get one of those sent in and just take it somewhere with us and see how it does and then analyze it.
I mean, the promotional video they have is super cheesy, and I just think it's...
Yeah, but you said your mom would want it.
Yes and no. Like, she couldn't care less about quality as long as it's a picture of her grandson or granddaughter, even if it's blurry as hell. So maybe she will. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see where all that AI stuff goes. Oh, and there was an article that the person that did the AI fed the algorithm was like, yeah, we used hundreds of millions of pictures without anybody's permission. He's like, how were we going to get in touch with people? He's like, how were we going to do this? There's no metadata in all of these images. He's like, we couldn't. So
and it's already on the internet, right? So it's technically in the public eye.
Well, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's publicly capable of being used.
But is it technically illegal to have a bot train itself on these images?
It's a gray area.
That's
and
what I
no
mean.
one
Yeah,
knows.
there's really no laws just yet.
Nope. So anyway, that's that. The other thing is Rode sent us the Rodecaster Pro version 2, which you were excited for because it added, you said, a bunch of things that you wished the Verse version had.
Yeah. I mean, the version 1 was great, but there was still a couple things that I wanted tweaked and fixed, and I feel like this version 2 finally has all that in it. And for an affordable price, in my opinion.
Was $600?
Yeah. It has everything you need in one simple board.
So let me ask you this, Stephen. If someone came to you and was like, hey, I'm in charge of making a podcast for this thing, and what would you get? And you're like, well, I think you should really get one of these boards because you could take phone calls with the board and it records right into it.
All
you
day
could do
I would
compression.
recommend this, yep.
What's cool in the new one is it has my microphone.
Well, the old one did too. It has built-in compression from Rode microphones. So, we're using the Rode broadcasters right now. You could literally tell it, hey, I'm using this broadcaster microphone, put the compression on it, and it already knows because Rode made the microphone, so it knows exactly what it needs.
They also put in microphones that they didn't make too, by the way.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, like Shure and all of that. So would you still manually put in your own compression?
I mean, I'd have to do some testing, but I think something like this would be really great for like live streaming. You could rely completely on just the board. Like I wish we had this when we did RAWtalk Live, because all we did was we passed it through a Zoom recorder, then into the actual box to go out into the world, and there was no compression. It was pretty much raw audio that people were hearing. It was good enough, but if I had something like this, it would almost be polished audio by the time it hit the internet.
Yeah. So if going back to Stephen, if someone was theoretically to ask him if they should start a show and what should they get, his recommendations theoretically would be to get this thing, get a good microphone, and call it a day. For the $700-800, the setup is going to be absolutely insane and just work. And don't get something like a Zoom and try to work your way around with workarounds to save a couple $100.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense to save a couple $100 when you can grab this thing, microphones. I mean, the fact that you could have someone in person and you have so many inputs, or you can do audio drops, or you could do the phone call coming in through Bluetooth or plugged in. That's so powerful. And it's crazy to think that we were kind of very far ahead of the time for podcasting and live streaming. What we were doing was just insane.
I've talked about wanting something like this from the beginning of doing RAWtalk, right around when we started streaming live. This is exactly what I pictured, what I imagined, what I wanted. It was my dream product when it came to live streaming, and Rode crushed it. I don't feel like there's really anything else out there that's very similar, where it's an all-in-one product at a decent, affordable price. It's like $550 right now on sale. And again, 4 inputs, 4 outputs when it comes to headphones. You got all the drops, you got everything. Bluetooth connectivity.
And it looks good with all the colors.
It looks great with all the colors, yeah.
So it kind of looks good on camera, too.
Well, and you can switch the pad coloring, too, if you want to have, all the purple pads are, laugh tracks or something like that. And the red tracks are sensor beeps and whatever it may be.
Well, anyway, they sent us that. They sent us another mini microphone to take on the road, and then they sent the headphones, which Stephen will be testing out because he is the tester-outer of headphones for editing.
Well, I still have these Sennheiser 280 HD headphones that I've been using for years. I think this might be my second pair that we got for work, but the only thing I hate about them is they literally start falling apart after 2 or 3 years of constant use.
Anyway, guys, this is episode 30. Next week will be episode 31. We're going to record that later today after lunch, where we answer everybody's questions. So that will be the last episode of the year, 31. And then we'll just pick up where we left off and just keep on trugging along, because we like the show.
Yeah.
We hope you like the show. The numbers did go up, which is great. And yeah, we're in a good spot. We like doing it, and we'll see how we progress in the next year.
Let's keep it going.
All right, Stephen, I'm going to get to work on some other stuff before we have to do that. Anything you want to leave with the people? Where can they find you on the internet? Does your website exist?
No website, but you can find me on Instagram at S_ECKERT.
/clan?
No. And yeah, follow me on there. I rarely post, so not really worth it.
Not well. I mean, you build a build big enough following, Steven, and you can monetize it.
Oh yes.
Maybe you'll be able to sell your camera.
I've said it before, though. My thing is, like, the last thing I want to look at or do is social media when I'm done work, because that's all I focus on while I'm actually working.
Yeah,
is making content.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you, Steven. All right, Steven, you have a good day.
And happy holidays to everyone out there. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate.
Happy Hanukkah.
Have a good time. Yep.
All right, guys. Manny and Manora here wishing you a happy holidays.
There we go.
And a happy Hanukkah. Not Christmas, because Jews are the best. No Christmas cheer this year. How's that sound, Steven? Nothing? You got nothing?
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. It's Dickie the Dreidel. Shut up, Dickie. Okay, bye.